Today I thought we could talk about what happens after the stars align and you actually get a viral video on social media. My business is 1 year old as of December of 2023. I subscribed to the very popular theory that you should pick the form of social media you are the most comfortable with when you start marketing for your business, and you should focus on that one form of social media and you should focus heavily on it. So for me, what seemed to be the easiest and most popular form of social media I could do was TikTok. I had no experience doing it. My first videos were
incredibly rough.
Not to say I'm any sort of expert now, but I feel much more confident making TikToks now than I did a year ago. In the first 6 months, especially the first 3 months really, that I decided to focus heavily on marketing through social media, I posted 3 videos a day to TikTok, 7 days a week.
It was horrible.
I have seen people, because I watched a ton of videos, and there were people who said, it's not that bad. It's really not as hard as it sounds. It is definitely as hard as it sounds. I worked so hard for that 3 months, thinking up just original, engaging content because I didn't want to be boring. I didn't want to be super repetitive. When I first started my business, I was doing craft fairs, and I was making TikToks. In late May or June of 2023, I opened a TikTok shop. I had 1,500 followers when I did that, and I had worked really, really hard at that point because I opened in December. So I mean, we're talking a good 6 months in, and me posting 3 times a day, every day for many months now. I started my TikTok shop, and week 1 went by, I didn't get any sales, and I was making the videos, linking the products, doing the things you're supposed to do. Week 2, I got a sale. It was great. I was at this point on my Shopify, I think I had sold like 3 things to people I don't know. I had many family members who were purchasing from me, which is amazing when you have family and friends that are so incredibly supportive like mine are. And it was amazing when they would purchase, but I was like floating around on cloud 9 when I got orders from people that I didn't know or wasn't related to, because that felt like the work I was putting in actually yielded some results. When I got an order on week 2 on TikTok shop from someone that I didn't know and who literally just found me through my content on TikTok, I was super excited, and I thought,
oh, here it is, I've arrived. Everybody's talking about all these great TikTok sales and these shops that are really starting to boom. It's gonna be amazing.
it was not amazing. It didn't happen. Another 2 weeks went by, and I think I got 1 more sale. So 4 weeks and 2 sales. I was convinced either the other creators that I was seeing just had such a vastly better product than I did, or they were so much more entertaining than I was, and clearly my content was horrible, or they were lying. And then one night, I think it was a Friday night, a couple weeks prior to this, had posted a video about my car diffusers. At this point in time, my shop had been up for like 5 weeks, and I had seen one other person who sold these on TikTok shop, and they were a much larger business than me. But I hadn't seen any other sellers selling these, and I was selling them at craft markets for the past 6 months with a lot of success. So it was one of the first items I listed on TikTok shop. I think I only had like 3 items listed. All of a sudden, my phone starts vibrating. I turn the volume on, and it just starts going. It's never done this before. I don't know what's going on. So I start looking at my notifications and it's all TikTok Shop. I was making sales. So TikTok Shop requires you, once you receive an order, you have 3 business days to ship it out, for the label to be printed and for the post office to accept it. So there is not a lot of turnaround time. If you are listing inventory for products that you have to make and you don't already have them made, that could really get you in a bind if you list too much, because you could go from no sales to like 100 sales overnight. And so I was very conservative. I only listed what I had made. And remember, up until this point, I've made like, under 50 sales through e-commerce. All of my other sales were through craft markets. Now, luckily at this point, I had been making a bunch of car diffusers that I was preparing for a craft market I had coming up in a week. So I had them listed in my TikTok Shop inventory, like
just in case, just for funsies.
Because they definitely weren't going to sell. And when I say a lot, I think I had like 100 listed, which was like an insane amount that I had been making for days prior to have ready for my craft market. I was up until like 3 a.m. figuring out how to get my thermal label printer to like print the packing slips. I had no systems in place. I had not received enough orders to start to build systems to put in place to like receive orders and pack them. I didn't have like anything like that. My workspace at this point in time, I'll see if I can find some videos or photos to insert here. But my workspace that I was creating everything I made in was my laundry room. My office was tucked in a little desk in the corner, and that was my packing station. That was my everything station. I did everything there. So I would run down to my laundry room, and I was like doing this manically, like 1 a.m, because I felt like I needed to have them all prepared by the next morning. But the orders just kept coming in. I didn't understand. I had 3 days and I could take a moment and figure out a game plan. None of that was entering into my head. I was just shrieking through the house, "I've got orders!" And so I'm running down, every time I get an order, I'm running down to the basement. I'm grabbing a car diffuser, packaging it up, putting it on a cafeteria tray, running it up 4 flights of stairs where I had like a pile of boxes that I would sit the cafeteria trays on next to my desk. Then I would package up the order. And I wondered, should I be videotaping all of this? I'm like, are these TikToks? This is only gonna happen once. This is it. The adrenaline had fizzled out of my system and I was exhausted. So I went to bed and I woke up the next morning at like 7 a.m. because I was still so pumped. And I saw that my TikTok Shop was sold out. It was an incredible feeling. On top of being sold out, my follower count had gone from 1,500 to I think like 3,500 overnight, just overnight. And that video that everyone was purchasing from had like 300,000 views. I was just shocked. I was like, I don't know what, this is incredible. This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. Since then, that video is still the biggest video on my TikTok page, and it has over 2 million views. And it has since sold many, many thousands more of car diffusers from it. I have made other videos since then that have also gone viral, and it's an insane feeling every time it happens. I don't really know what the recipe for success is. I can see that there are some common threads as to what the recipe is that creates a viral video, but I have tried to intentionally recreate it to create virality, and it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's kind of a roll of the dice. It's putting in the work and being really consistent, because the more times you post quality content, the higher the chance is that you have that a video will hit and resonate with a lot of people and go viral. Make quality content and don't worry about following the trends per se. The trends have never done well with my audience. So maybe they do for yours, but they don't for mine. Keep it fairly generic. Sometimes having content that's more personal is good for building community, but it doesn't necessarily create virality in a video. And having a viral video is good and bad. There's definitely negatives to it. Up until that point, I had never had a negative comment said to me on social media. And I was
like, I don't know why all of these people are scared about negativity. If you're just a nice, kind person and you put out nice, kind content, no one's going to be mean to you on social media.
That's just not true. It turns out the more people that see your video, the higher the chances are that you're going to have trolling. And a lot of it is just like bots saying things that are really obnoxious, but some of it's actually just people being mean. And that sucks. It's not fun, but I very quickly grew a thick skin. And now actually I just let TikTok filter most of my comments, so I don't even have to see it, which is super great. I try to respond and answer every single question to every single comment. And on some of my videos, there is a lot of comments. That usually looks like me laying in bed at 1 a.m., not sleeping, on my phone, just like responding to things as they come in. But the big question is, does a viral video make your business explode? It did not for me. It gave me a lot of sales in a short period of time. And then I had to figure out what to do with that exposure. And I could have very easily ruined it a number of ways. The first of which is I could have gotten greedy and just put like my quantity was 10,000 of all my car diffusers and gotten 10,000 orders, because there doesn't seem to be an end in sight to people wanting to buy it, especially then. Like I would sell out in hours after I restocked my inventory. Over and over and over again for weeks and weeks and weeks. I would sell out within hours. And I was not taking any breaks. I was going 15 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months, filling orders, packing orders, trying to keep up with it. I would make ahead, then restock my inventory numbers with what I had on hand. So I knew I could handle that. I also figured out really early on how many packages I could pack up and bring to the post office in a day. And I never listed my total inventory more than that number. I always knew I had inventory on hand, and I always knew that I could ship it out within 2 days. That was my goal, was to ship it out within 2 days, barring weekends. In the beginning, it wasn't barring weekends. I would still go on like Sunday nights to my 24 hours USPS and like go to the self-serve kiosk and like be scanning in 80 packages one at a time. Even though they're just gonna sit in USPS until Monday morning, I was like, 2 days, I got it. That's my goal. I gotta get it in there. I've relaxed a little bit on that, and I still have great reviews, and I still ship really fast, but I'm not crazy about it. I receive the order, the next day I'm printing and packing it, and then the third day it's going to the post office, which is a pretty good turnaround time. To make this not a product but a business, the things that I put into place are the product that was going viral, that was and is still getting a lot of sales. I try to keep the quality really high and not sacrifice quality. If you're going to sell something that someone else is selling, make it your own. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of shops now selling these, and they're not making it their own. They're doing the same scents, the same bottles, the same everything. And it kind of has oversaturated the market a bit, I did see a little slowdown in sales as this oversaturation really started to happen. I chose to, instead of getting fearful there, I chose to continue selling them as I was, continue restocking, continue just keeping my quality high. But then I also started really heavily posting content about my other products. And then I started to have my wax melts really take off. And I had one of my wax melt videos go viral. And my wax melts have sold pretty consistently since then, with ebbs and flows, but pretty consistent without me even posting anything about them. So I have slowly trickled out new products from my website to TikTok Shop, and that's also created not just TikTok Shop sales, but when I ship out orders, I ship them out with thank you cards. One of them looks like this. It's for my big ones, my big orders, and my smaller orders looks like this. What they are is they're scratch offs. So there's a little coupon code when you scratch this off that gives you a discount code to my website, not my TikTok Shop. Because ideally, I would love to have all of my customers on my website, not my TikTok Shop, because TikTok Shop does not share customers. They are their customers that you are getting a sale from. So they're not loyal to you or to your brand or your story or your products or anything. You can't even see their name and address after you ship off their product. It is all like, it's got little asterisks over it, so you can't even see it. So if you need to send them a replacement or do anything with them, you have to ask them again for their name and address, which is frustrating. I guess I understand it from TikTok's perspective a little bit, but it is frustrating. So I send these thank you cards with these coupon codes to try to encourage people, if they like the product, to repurchase it, but from my website. And I have been able to convert many of my sales to my Shopify store using that method. So I have been able to keep the business coming in very steadily by not stopping. I no longer do 7 days a week. It's usually like 6 days a week now. And I'm no longer doing 15 to 18 hour days. I usually work something more like 10 to 12 hour days. And I have also brought on 2 employees part-time to help me with all of the fulfillment and logistics things.
But it's a lot.
I work on infrastructure all the time. But so like today's orders, this is I was very nervous because there wasn't a lot of money in the beginning, and I thought,
how on earth can I not do everything myself? Like, I should just be doing everything myself. I need to recoup all of the money that I put into my business.
but you have to have faith. You will, and you will never be able to grow beyond a certain point if you don't bring in people to help you. That was the biggest turnaround from my company, is deciding to bring on people to help. Because once I relinquished some of the power in packing every order, it allowed me to free up so much more time to work on product development, content creation, and just marketing my products and making sure that the products are the best that I can possibly deliver to the market. I focus on not follower count, but really high engagement on my videos, and I do really well with that. I am trying to build a community. My brand is really focused on sustainability and eco-conscious products that are really beautiful and unique. So it is really important to me that I build a community of like-minded people who understand that and also value those things from their products. I still post on social media about gardening and DIY projects and cooking with my husband and our 3 dogs that started this whole thing. I think it's really important to still share the personal things so that people understand the people behind the business as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it answered some of your questions. And if you have any other questions about what it's like going viral on social media and how to best continue that momentum in your business after that, list it down in the comments below. I would love to talk to people about this, the things that I've learned, because I wish that I had more people to talk to when it happened to me, so I could have been more prepared. But I can't focus when you're sitting there with your face in the glass.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
I just came to say hi. I'm sorry.
Hi.
No, you were. Can I just give me a quick peck?
Not on my face. You could give me an air peck. I have makeup on.
You have what?
Makeup on. I love you. I'll come see you when I'm done.